Mitch, it was a game of two halves on the weekend. What is it that the team needs to do to make sure you get the result tomorrow night?
Bounce back. It was obviously a disappointing start, a massive build-up for us as a team, and I think it just goes to show in this World Cup and in international cricket in general, if you're slightly off, they jumped us at the start and we're on the back foot from then on in. So hopefully we can bounce back against Sri Lanka. They're a good side. We know these conditions very well. The stadium should suit us more than them, so hopefully we can bounce back and get the World Cup underway.
Do you think there will be personnel changes, or will you stick with the same 11, do you think, and just really try and bounce back with the same group of guys?
Yeah, I think, to my knowledge, we'll be playing the same 11 hopefully and stay the course.
Mitch, the other night, I think might have been a bit tongue-in-cheek, but you said it's a perfect situation with the team backs against the wall. But do you think that approach is something the team might have to adopt?
Yeah, we don't really have a choice now. I don't actually remember saying that. I think Zamps was throwing me under the bus there. But I'll take that one for Zamps. But yeah, look, the nature of the tournament, you lose one game, your back is up against the wall, and we know what's in front of us now. I think what's really important for us, and we've spoken about it, is not looking too far ahead. We've got Sri Lanka tomorrow night. That's all that matters for us. Hopefully we play well, get past that, and then we move on to England.
But given the scale of the defeat, do you think the confidence has been rattled at all within the group?
Definitely not. I think if you look down the personnel of our group, confidence is not something that all the boys are shy of. So I think it's just really important to stick together. We know that our best is up there with the best. So making sure we bring that tomorrow night, bring plenty of energy, and hopefully put on a good show for the Perth crowd.
Mitch, you got a good look at Hasaranga and Teekshana earlier this year. I mean, what are the key things against them, and how different will it be playing them here compared to in Colombo and Candia, I think it was? Yeah, I'm certainly hoping. Well, I know for a fact that it won't be spinning as much as what it was over there, so that's a plus in itself. I think in general, our team and the way we play spin very well, certainly in Australian conditions. So I'm looking forward to that challenge. But we know that they're two world-class bowlers, and Sri Lanka are a very dangerous side. So we'll have to get our matchups right and make sure that we're on. What about Hasaranga in particular? Like, you normally come here and you're talking about bounce and things like that. He's kind of the opposite with, how low he kind of bowls. Like, what's, how difficult or otherwise will that be? Yeah, he's obviously a very good bowler and someone that we'll have to counteract. Hopefully spin doesn't play a huge factor out at Perth Stadium, and we can look to really attack them. They're their two key bowlers. If we can get on top of them, then I think we'll be ahead of the game.
Mitch, you had a sort of a bit of an interruption sort of coming in. Do you still feel on the peak of your game, or do you still think that you're on the rise towards the peak of your game?
Yeah, hopefully I just build the whole way through the tournament, but yeah, certainly a couple of my innings to begin with against England, I felt really good. I'm feeling great. I'm back bowling this game, available to bowl. So I love sort of preparing as an all-rounder and making sure I'm in the game the whole time, but I'm feeling great, and hopefully I can contribute a few big scores up the top and maybe chip in with a few wickets.
And given Perth Stadium's new and given the COVID restrictions we've had the last couple of years, hasn't been a lot played here, does it a genuine home ground advantage for Australia and particularly for the West Australians like yourself, do you think?
Yeah, I think it has. I think if you look back at the Scorchers' first couple of years, we couldn't win a game here. So we thought we were cursed, but the last couple of years, certainly before COVID, we turned that around. It's a great place to play cricket. It's similar to the Gabba. I love the dimensions of the ground, and we play very well here. So I'm hopeful that it's a home ground advantage and we can start our World Cup.
And do you think the fast bowlers are a real chance of stitching up the Sri Lankans here, given the pace and bounce we traditionally see in Perth?
Yeah, I'm hopeful. We'll certainly have an aggressive approach. We know that the big three bowlers, when they get going, they're very hard to stop. And I think certainly after the other night, we'll see a big response from them.
Mitch, Ricky Ponting threw his support behind Cameron Green yesterday, saying he'd be a good acquisition, could really blow the World Cup open for Australia. Given local boy knows the ground conditions, would you like to see Cam come in and play a role?
Yes and no. Yes, because he's an unbelievable talent. No, because it probably means he takes my spot. So we've had words about that. I just told him to calm down a bit and give me another few weeks, then it's all his. But look, I think anytime you've got someone like him on the sidelines, it's good. It's great. It creates pressure within the group. But, we're all as one. We know that throughout this tournament, things may happen, injuries with so much travel, games back-to-back. So he'll be ready for his opportunity if it comes. But for now, I think we've got the right 11.
And in terms of just the form, obviously the lead-up series, they don't count for anything, but winless through that against England and now obviously the disappointment on Saturday. How close do you feel as though the team is to performing? And, do you look into that and think, well, why isn't it clicking at the moment?
It's a good question. I think that we've got a lot of confidence in our group that once we get on a roll, we're going to be very hard to stop. We had so much cricket in the lead up to the game. We had guys in and out, in and out. It was all about building to the World Cup. And obviously we didn't start well the other night, but we've got great self-belief. As I said before, we know our best is the best in the world. So hopefully we can turn it around against Sri Lanka and really show them.
What do you make of history? Because there's an element that it's on your side because you lost your first game last year and went on to win it, but no host nations ever won the T20 World Cup. Which way do you go to?
Well, hopefully it's something that you always want to talk about, you want to think about, but ultimately we need to get past Sri Lanka first before we start thinking about any of those sort of records or stats. So we've spoken about it. We know what's in front of us. Obviously, you want to win any World Cup, let alone a home World Cup, but ultimately we need to get past Sri Lanka tomorrow.
Me next? Yep. You spoke about Cam Green on the sideline, but what's it like having Steve Smith on the sideline? Is he extra annoying not playing, or is he less so?
It's certainly nice not having to run gloves out to him every 5 minutes, but he's been fantastic for someone who's literally done everything in the game, has a wealth of experience, and probably any other side in the world would be a walk-up start. He's been terrific around the group, providing lots of energy on the bench, and you'd expect nothing less from someone like Steve.
I hate to ask it, but Faf du Plessis' excerpt of his book came out yesterday, and would that be a little bit of a distraction, or how do you stay focused with some of the stuff that came out from that excerpt?
I'm not a big reader, so I'm not sure what's come out there, but...
It was a bit more around Sandpapergate and identifying David Warner and Mitchell Starc in his book, and how closely the South Africans were watching them back then. How much of a distraction is it with those sorts of things coming up around a World Cup?
Well, yeah, as you probably just saw, nothing, because I haven't seen anything or read anything. So we've got a World Cup to focus on as a group. We're solely focused on that. And we're a really close group and tight-knit group, so I'm just looking forward to the next couple of weeks.
Mitch, your own personal form, do you feel like this is a perfect opportunity for yourself to kickstart your tournament after an interrupted sort of lead-up? You've played probably more cricket on this ground than anyone else tomorrow night.
Yeah, absolutely. I just love playing here, love playing in front of my family, friends and West Australian crowd. So, yeah, I love batting on this wicket. I think it's the best wicket in the world. Bounce, carry, the ball flies off the bat. They're big boundaries, but I don't worry about that. So I love batting here, and hopefully I can contribute to a win.
And bowling-wise, do you know what the plans are? Do you know whether you'll bowl in the power play or death or anything like that, or are you sort of pretty flexible at this stage? Yeah,
I've offered to bowl the first over, but I keep getting shut down. So yeah, I'll just be available to bowl. We know that we try and get one over out of Stoyan or myself or even Maxi at times in the power play, and then it's just about being flexible throughout the middle, depending on how the game goes. And I think with me bowling, it gives us that added flexibility of myself, Maxi or Stoyan can get 4 overs out, and we can bowl anywhere. So it gives us great flexibility.
Mitch, did you watch the game last night? What did you make of it? And do you think, given that you guys had an off day on the first day, that match kind of lit up the tournament?
Yeah, I actually think we should just stop the World Cup there. If it gets any better than that, we're in for an amazing 3 weeks. India-Pakistan's always an incredible game to watch. I can't imagine what it would be like to have been in that crowd and to be a part of it. But yeah, amazing. Virat Kohli's been through a indifferent 12 months when you think about his career, and for him to do that put his mark on the World Cup, and it was an incredible innings to watch and an incredible game. So hopefully there's a few more of those.
Just wondering if, the guy like Virat has a space or a spot in the team, and why can't have Steve Smith have place in that squad? I mean, it's a similar player, Kane also plays for New Zealand.
Yeah, I mean, I think if you look down at our team, we've got a pretty incredible batting lineup for a T20 side. We've gone with Tim David coming to the side, we've gone sort of hitter heavy towards the back end of the game, which I think will be really important if we can get off to a good start on the Australian grounds. So, as I said before, we're early on in the tournament. Things may change, but for now, I think we've got a really set 11 and one that I truly believe in.
Thanks. Just following on from your ankle injury, I guess we expected you back bowling a bit earlier. Can you talk us through that? And was there a bit of a delay there for any reason?
No delay. Probably more so just with the nature of coming back in and playing, and we had basically play, travel. It was kind of hard to get a bit of training in whilst you're trying to recover and get up for the next game. So probably 2 weeks ago, game 2 was the game that I wanted to be back for if all went to plan. And the ankle's feeling pretty good now, so I'm ready to go.
And following on from Beck's question about the Faf comments, no doubt that'll get back to Warner. What can you tell us about his ability to just keep those distractions out? What does he do to make sure it doesn't affect him in that manner?
I can't really say what he does, but what he does is amazing. He's an incredible person to have around our group. He's a great leader. And he's just got so much energy. He's our unofficial team manager. So that probably distracts him more than anything. Books all our golf. Any team functions, he's there. He's had an amazing career, and he's clearly been able to block out a lot of distractions throughout that. And that's what separates the best players in the world from the rest, is they solely focus on their job. For him, it's been scoring runs and providing energy for our group, and he's been able to do it for 15 years. It's incredible.
And what do you think he can do now with not only Australia under pressure, but that added distraction chucked in for good measure? What do you expect from him?
I think what we've always seen him do, come out and take the game on. Anytime we've seen him with his back against the wall, he always stands up for us. He's vitally important to our team. The way we play, certainly the way we play at the front, up top. And for me personally, we've had some amazing partnerships over the last 12 to 18 months, so hopefully there's a few more in us.
Mitch, just following up on what you kind of said before about those 3 fast bowlers, like you've played a lot with them, and they've probably never really had a touch up like that all at the same time. How are they kind of feeling, and what is it about those 3 players' character that makes you think they might bounce back?
We got jumped in the first 4 overs of that power play, that's for sure. Finn Allen played unbelievably well. I think if you look at they're 3 of the best fast bowlers that Australia's ever had, 3 of the best in the world. And similarly to what I said about Davey, is all the best players in the world bounce back from whatever setback, that's a pretty minor setback, but I'm sure they'll be fired up. They love bowling out here, fast, bouncy wickets, so hopefully they'll be fired up and ready to go.